Why, hello there, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Tomb Raider 3. Yeah, I just got the gills. It's Jamie Croft Gaming here, and we're still on level 5, first level of the choice, and I obviously choose to pick Nevada, and this is the first level of the set, Nevada Desert, and this is part 11. I made a mistake in last part, I said it was part 9. No, that was part 10. This part 9 was the final level of the previous area, the Indian jungle. This is part 11, which is the second part of Nevada Desert. The first level of another set, which are only 3 levels. However, it's a short level, I could have just bunged this all in part 10. But the way I've done it here is quicker somehow, so, or less stalling to edit is one way of putting it. Thus, therefore, I may have done the right thing. We'll see. I may have done the wrong thing. I don't really know, and I'm not really sure. However, let's get some music in this bitch. Biatch. God. Right. Yeah, I'll do, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh my god, I hope that doesn't come through the recording, but yeah, you can really see the defect here with the SCART leads, so my apologies for that, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just pointing out that, well, maybe if I had the other SCART lead then that wouldn't be an issue at all, but yeah, it's nothing major. You can still see the game, still professionally recorded, still professional sound, and all that sort of thing, so nothing to worry about majorly. And as you may have gathered if you watched the previous part, we've got all 3 secrets. There's only 3 secrets in this first level. Indeed, I think it's the same for all the levels in Nevada, though I'm not entirely certain of that. All I remember is I got them all, so if I suddenly haven't got them all, I'd be very suspicious of that. You've got to be very careful in this level. And the reason in this part of the level, because you can easily fall in the water. Now, you don't want to fall in the water, obviously. Otherwise, you'll be taken back, all the way back, to the waterfall and the starting waterfall. So that's a long way to go back. You do have to go back there anyway, but you have to pick up a detonator switch before you go back down there, otherwise you can't make any progress. So yeah, we got there in the end, so I was trying to get up there. Oh, there we go. And for your benefit, I'll show you what happens when you fall in the water. Over a month, of course, after I did the recording, which is a bit stupid. I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't have done that, to be frank. Like I say, I wish I could live commentate. The problem with doing that is there's still be a shit ton of editing to do. So it's the same difference, really. Post commentary can actually allow you to improve on things because you do it after you've done the editing and everything. So it could be more compact. But in reality, of course, in the final product, it doesn't make a huge difference, I don't think. As long as I can see and hear the game footage when I'm doing the commentary, it's like it's live anyway, so even though I know what happens and everything else. At the end of the day, it's a Let's Play. You just need somebody talking over it. Could be anybody. I could even hire somebody to do my Let's Plays for me. No, I'm not that rich. Hey, I'm not even rich. What am I on about? If I was rich, I'd have a top of the range PC, at the very least. But then again, I don't think I would, because you don't really need a top of the range PC, you just need a decent middle level one, really. I'm not one of these people who, if I was rich, I'd spend £10,000 on a watch just because I could spend. Or maybe I'd spend £500 at most, you know. Because I don't need. I'm not flashy, is what I'm trying to say. I'm quite a bizarre personality, but I'm not flashy. Exuberant, yes. Flashy, not really. Not saying all flashy things are bad, but because if I had the money, I'd probably have a flashy car. Probably have a McLaren F1. Well, God knows I'll never be able to afford one of those. Long tail version. Yeah, there's only 10 of those in a world dream on. At least I can play it in Gran Turismo 4. That's as close as I'll ever get to driving one. There's a Tokka game you can play in as well, I believe. 2004 as well. Or 2003, I think, actually. World Touring. I think the Tokka game's quite interesting. Well, I never actually owned one, I've only played the demolition. The demo. That was just touring cars. Anyway, I tried to do a video on that, it didn't work. It ended up turning into a Rayman 2 video of the demo of that instead, because they're both on the same demo disc. And the demo disc was from the year 2000, believe it or not. Must be one of the last PS1 demo discs then. But yes, back to Tomb Raider 3. I've got my detonator switch. You don't need to go up here, but there's a small medi-pack. One small medi-pack's not going to make a difference. It's not a secret. You don't need it per se, but you do want it because Tomb Raider 3 is not easy. This level is one of the most straightforward levels you'll find in general, due to the fact that it's quite linear, which is unusual for this game. There's still a lot to do in it, and it's still a bit confusing when you first play it. It's not as straightforward as some of the levels in Tomb Raider Chronicles, for instance, but they're very linear indeed. And it still has the complexity of nature to have different things in the environment, like different colours of the walls and textures, and the water in this game is really amazing, especially for 1998. To think it was 22 years ago. I know there were areas by this point where Tomb Raider was way out of date. Well, slightly anyway, graphically, but the water was not one. The water was ahead of its time by at least a couple of years. Even to this day, I still say the water looks pretty good, and it ripples as well, which is good. Excellent, in fact. Now, you're not really supposed. You're supposed to. There are other ways, but actually, I think the quickest way is to go back down this waterfall. Actually, thinking about it, then I have to go back up here. Don't know how many hundreds of times I've actually done this drive, but never mind. Most of that's cut out, so you won't actually see the agony I went through with all the times I accidentally fell in the water. First had to go down up this route anyway. Route, whatever, don't care. As long as it's vaguely understandable what I'm coming out of. Which half the time, probably not. I don't know. I just rumbled over 2 or 3 within 27 years. Perhaps you'll have one view from the date of uploading, not recording. Obviously. Yes. Though, like I said, this is a long-term project. It's an all-time log, so it's for all time's sake. All time's sake. That's not even a word, is it? All time's sake. So I got confused. Okay, I got confused. 29 minutes in. Oh, just let me fix something like the music. I hope this doesn't come through on the commentary. It might do. It shouldn't though. It's in 23 notches. It shouldn't do at all. If it does, it'll be like here and there, but whatever. Because like I said, this game is a bit too quiet in some of the levels. That's not always the case, I don't think, but for example, Area 51 has the Heartbeat soundtrack, which is louder than the soundtrack in this. Well, slightly. And to be honest, I might still need music in the background. Just for my benefit when I'm doing the commentary, you understand? You won't get it. It's not the intention for you to hear it, is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know why I'm doing that. It's pointless. I mean, you should get my point. You should get my point by now. I just keep thinking I'm saying the same thing over and over again on these, partly because I am. But, yeah, so despite the fact that this level is not particularly a tough one, I still can't save a save game. Crystal has saved my life, really, but I save at the vital points anyway. And the only reason I've saved it is to demonstrate being flattened by a boulder if you don't get out of the way of the switch. You can thank me later. Anyway, what you're supposed to do is obviously do a side jump and avoid the boulder. And Lara will survive. There's nothing behind the boulder, and you can't activate the boulder before you put the detonator switch there. Got the secrets, all three of them. Thank you very much. I've got the grenade gun. Oh yes, I picked the grenade gun up. I didn't realise. Yes, I think I picked the grenade gun up a few levels back. Actually, I hadn't noticed on the commentary that I'd actually picked the grenade gun up. I said gun there, didn't I? Grenade gun. It's one of the coolest weapons in classic Tomb Raider history, or indeed Tomb Raider history. Though in this game, it is bettered by the rocket launcher, which is a lot more accurate, and therefore, but no more deadly, it must be said. So it's down to personal preference, I guess. But the grenade gun, if you've followed my last photo Tomb Raider 2, or any playthrough of Tomb Raider 2, you notice the grenade gun is more simplistic looking, whereas this grenade gun that they've got in Tomb Raider 3 has a barrel on it. And indeed so is the one in Tomb Raider 4. So, I believe, however, that both types of these grenade guns actually do exist. I think the one with the barrel on it could hold more grenades and was a later model. I think the one without the barrel was a lot older. Oh dear, this is fantastic commentary once again from me, the absolute gaming god, of course, Jamie Clough Gaming. No, it's really bad. It's just a stupid. It's just half of it is just stupidity and rambling on, and you know what it is. This is Tomb Raider 3, goddammit. The Adventures of Lara Croft. I have yet to do the playlist for this game yet. I did it 4 years ago and then I took it down again because I was some paranoia about. Well, if the playlist is done years before the LP. it might not get very much exposure as it should do if it's brand new as well. It's just a fair point. Even though I made it, and I said it myself, but my own point was fair. Oh dear. You want short and fast, drum and bossy. Nothing too convoluted. Tomb Raider 3 is probably the most convoluted of the Tomb Raiders in the entire history of Tomb Raider. It's still not as annoying as Shadow of the Tomb Raider by any stretch. And while Tomb Raider 3 is complicated, than Tomb Raider 1, it's more challenging, the graphics are better, and it's more enjoyable as well. So, it really was one of the best ever made. I still maintain I prefer Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation. But purely because the atmosphere and the story are just so good. Even if on the PS1 there's little to choose between them in terms of graphics. But obviously the PC version of Tomb Raider 4 looks incredible. Incredible. Even to this day, it still holds up. And what is this, 21 years later? Yeah, 21 years later. Of course, the geeks among you will notice that's not exactly 21 years. It will be at the end of this year. In December, I think, yeah. Because it's May 2020 now. It is. It is. And of course... oh... What on earth I'm rambling on. This confused me, this area. Because there's a door, there's a lever, there's a door in there, you pull the lever, you think, oh, that'll open the door. No, it doesn't. That door doesn't open until later on. It's just a route back round as well. I don't actually believe you have to go back through here at all. That's what confused me. So, yeah. And there is something that returns to us in this level. There are a few levels ago. A certain vehicle, but for the very briefest and the shortest period of time. We're literally only on it, and it's the quad bike. I haven't come across it yet. It's not really a massive spoiler to reveal that, since the game's 22 years old anyway, is it? But if you don't know that, that is a spoiler. But there's a quad bike in this level. But it's not a quad bike level, as it's not from the start. But we already have demonstrated the quad bike twice before, both in Lara's Manor and in the River Ganges, which is level 3. This is only a couple of levels after that, and because of the order I've selected it, we're using the quad bike again. I think for the final time in the Let's Play, unfortunately. So, I would say it's equally enjoyable to use as the snowmobile, and the controls are very similar in any case. But if I was to say a personal preference, I'd prefer the snowmobile. I think the snowmobile is actually the best vehicle in Tomb Raider history, even though the game that's in Tomb Raider 2 is not amongst my favourites. Or in terms of the classic games, anyway. Despite the fact that I still rate Tomb Raider 2 higher than just about all of the modern games, I think. So it's a bit contradictory, isn't it? It is. Childlike enthusiasm. God, what a sorrow. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, nerdiness is not appreciated by some people. It's become more socially acceptable nowadays. Back in the day, if you played this sort of thing, oh my god. The truth to think, all the... Oh, I've paused, haven't I? I've already had this one. do not think so. Right. Oh, this is more like it. Right, so... This is where I got confused. Aha! I think I know why the confusion hasn't quite shown. It's because I think something went wrong with this recording. I had to do the level again, and then the second time I did it, I knew what I was doing. I think something along those lines. I lost the recorder. Something stupid happened because now I seem to know what I'm doing a lot better, which is strange because I have my memories of getting extremely confused about how you fill that with water. I do remember reading, having to go and read Stellar's Guide to just see exactly how you do it because I couldn't remember. So we can these guys here. I simply get on my quad, they go in here and they die. But this quad, the only difference between the one in this level and the one in the jungle is, so that's a different colour. It's a colour of camouflage with the desert in Nevada, which is pretty cool. But it's the same type of quad and everything, so you'd question how that could be really, but well, it's a popular design. You know, it's like Honda Accord. It's just the best-selling Honda in America. So it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's all over the world. Now, I think this is pretty good actually. Cool. Be able to drive on the roof and pick up. I have to go up the quad. Pick up an access card here, and now you can fall off the roof. Then you think you've lost quad, but you haven't. You can get back up manually, so all is not lost. All is not lost. Readers, listeners, whatever. Readers, listeners, certainly. This is not a podcast, this is not Life Strung Out. Okay, one of the guys was clever enough to go away from me when I got on the quad, so he's still alive. Why they all look like Mr. T, I do not know. Don't ask me that. Probably based on Mr. T. And why they don't have any weapons, why they just punch you, I don't know that either. Because it's Lara Croft. What the narrative is, I suppose, is that this woman that's brought in, they don't know that's the great Lara Croft. So they're just standard gods. And then Mo, she's got all these weapons, they have no real chance. Especially against an experienced adventurer like Lara Croft. I've been taking photos of you again, Lara. Yeah. I'll leave it like this momentarily. I thought about editing it out. It's just only 2 seconds long. Although, if someone's going to pretending about this thing's edit them up, it does not make any difference at all, really. So, why do I even do it? If you stand there for 2 solid minutes, I understand more why I did it. And sometimes she is, to be fair. I mean, occasionally, I hate saying sometimes. I hate saying sometimes, I like occasionally, because I need to go back to education class, clearly. Anyway, so we're right near the end of the level, and that's a shame because we've only just discovered the quad, so I think they could have had another quad bike level where, for example, you use it through the level, but it would have been too much like River Ganges, I suppose. And I believe that would be the reason why you don't. At least with it in this level, it's different again, the purpose of the quad. The purpose of the quad is so you finish the level. No. I've run out of music. This is terrible. Oh. I didn't think that would be appropriate. Oh no, what's even worse? Oh, well, desperate times call for desperate measures, quite frankly. Oh wait, there's only 4 minutes left. 4 minutes. Oh my god. I like the pool tail there. If you have a close look at it, it's so poorly textured. And poorly designed. It could be a lot better designed than that. Even for 1998, you know, but I guess they weren't wanting to do that for whatever reason. Is it better on the PC version? I don't know. I don't think it is, to be honest. I don't think so. I don't think that they would have done that. It's just decoration. You can't interact with it. It's not an important plot point. Well, it's nice to see they made the effort in any case, isn't it? There's another one of these guys. And they all look the same as each other. They all look the same outfit. They're just clones of each other. It's strange because there's no difference whatsoever. They've even all got the same beard and everything. But that's the thing with Tomb Raider. Old style Tomb Raiders. All the enemies look the same. Even in new games, all the enemies look the same. That's video games for you, isn't it? You can make them realistic. You know, have a few individual enemies, but a lot of them just reuse the same textures and all. But that was the fun of it back in the day. We knew it wasn't supposed to be taking that seriously. If you didn't take it that seriously in terms of gameplay, because it is supposed to be taken seriously in terms of the fact that you're supposed to, what's the word I'm looking for, get good at doing the levels, because this game is not the faint-hearted at all, but in terms of the aesthetic, there's some tongue-in-cheek about it at least. Oh yes, yes. And you can pull that switch before you put the card in. I wouldn't recommend it, she'll die. I should have demonstrated that. I swear to God I would have done. And yeah, I probably did, but I lost it. I have to record again. I'm making this up. No, I don't know half of what to believe fully. All I know is that there's grenades there, and Lara would be well advised to pick them up, quite frankly, because you never know she'll need them next. But as is often the case with Tomb Raider, you get more ammunition than you actually need. I hardly think this is appropriate. No, I'm not keen on this soundtrack. I know it's iconic, I know this, but it's aged quite horribly. Well,
You crazy geek freak. What kind of stunt is that to pull? Let's take her in.
She don't look much like one of them. Maybe she's an eco-terrorist or something.
And they wear hot pants, huh?
alright. So, yeah. So yeah, that was the Nevada desert. It took just 54 minutes. That is highly accurate, actually. That's exactly how long it took me. That's pretty much the first time it's ever happened. And yeah, we got all secrets. So